Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you are new here, my name is Danielle, and in today's video, I want to talk about how to handle those partial manifestations. And what I mean by partial manifestations are basically just the manifestations where you have movement like in the direction of your manifestation, but you don't have the full reflection of everything that you want as your final end result or the final reality that you want to experience. So examples of this could be like your intention, like the entire manifestation that you actually want is you want to manifest $1,000, but you manifest, let's say $50 or $100 or even $500. But the idea here is that you manifested less than $1,000 or you didn't see the full reflection of the $1,000 that you were intending. Another example of this could be, your manifestation is you and your SP are together in a happy and healthy relationship, right? But let's say that you have a manifestation, the partial movement towards that manifestation is, your SP likes your Instagram story, or I don't know, there's some sort of tiny movement with your SP. But again, it's indicating that the manifestation is unfolding, but it's not the entire manifestation. That's what I mean by partial manifestations. How do we go about this? How do we handle partial manifestations? And from my own perspective, what's the most productive way to go about this? So getting straight into it, first of all, the reason why partial manifestations come up is actually not because you're doing anything wrong. If anything, you're doing everything right. And the way that you react to those partial manifestations is kind of like the secret sauce on continuing forward with persisting in the state of consciousness where you have your entire desire or entire reflection of what it is that you want to experience. And so speaking from my own personal experience with this, what I have found is that when it comes to partial manifestations, the name of the game, the thing that can really help you accelerate and really shift into seeing full reflection of your manifestation when you actually receive partial manifestation actually comes down to this idea of gratitude. And I know this sounds kind of we hear this all the time, right? You want to be grateful for what you have before you have it, right? Gratitude is the name of the game because it's the state of consciousness of having your manifestation. We hear a lot of advice around this idea of gratitude in the manifestation community, right? But when it comes to partial manifestations, something that I've noticed in my own personal journey is that when you actually experience part of your manifestation, but it's not the entire thing, sometimes what can happen when we see that we haven't gotten the entire manifestation is we basically have one of two ways we can go about reacting to the situation. We can be either grateful that we've seen partial manifestation and take that as an indication that we're I'm going in the right direction. I'm actually seeing reflection. I'm actually seeing movement and reacting to that experience in a grateful way, in a positive way, in a, yes, I'm doing something right way. Or we could have the reaction of, oh my gosh, I must be doing something wrong because I'm only seeing a small amount of my manifestation. I'm not actually seeing full reflection, right? Notice how the first state of consciousness is more in alignment with the reality you want to experience. And the second state of consciousness is in the, I'm doing something wrong. Nothing's working. I'm only getting certain results, right? Notice how that second state of consciousness is very much centered around this idea of lack and not doing things right. The thing when it comes to really mastering partial manifestations and really shifting into the version of self who fully has their manifestation, it really comes down to how you are reacting to these partial manifestations. I have noticed in my own journey with this that when I look at a partial manifestation and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm actually seeing movement, especially if I have a low level of expectation for the manifestation. When I react that way, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm actually seeing movement. And I'm also simultaneously like, oh my gosh, well, thank you for this, for showing me I'm actually doing something right, showing me that I actually I'm on my way to getting my manifestation. When I react like that, I have never, ever had it not happen that I've received my full manifestation very shortly after the experience, after the partial manifestation. Every single time, I have not had one instance where that has not worked. However, when I have had the experience of looking at the manifestation and being I'm why is it only this? Why am I not getting my actual manifestation? Why is the full reflection not here? When I've had those reactions to the partial manifestations, I've almost never had the full manifestation come, or at least it hasn't come in a quick way. It's been I kind of had more persisting to do, more okay, well, what am I doing wrong? And then I'd go through this cycle of okay, I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong, right? And then it would just kind of take me out of the state of consciousness of having my manifestation. And so the main point that I want to drive home here is that if you want to master partial manifestations, focus on being grateful, even if you feel slightly disappointed that you don't have the full reflection of your manifestation yet. I know sometimes it can be kind of challenging when we are in the experience of seeing reflection and being like, oh, yeah, like I got it. But also like, oh my gosh, like, am I doing something wrong that I like don't have my full manifestation? When you learn how to actually like find ways to be grateful for the manifestation and be like, yes, I'm on that way. Like I'm on the way to my full manifestation. That's when you're actually going to see reflection because again, the way you're reacting to and relating to and defining that experience is in alignment with what it is that you actually want. Whereas again, if you're looking at the exact same experience and you're like, I'm clearly failing at this. I'm doing something wrong. I only got this like this amount of money or this amount of reflection or whatever. It's out of alignment with what you truly want. And if you keep reacting to that situation that way, if you keep defining that circumstance that way, you're just going to get more of that. You're going to get more of the experience of, oh, I'm doing something wrong, or, oh, I have something like I have to figure out more things, or I have to, manifest harder, or, or this isn't working, right? So it's very important that you have the level of self-awareness to be like, oh, this is partial manifestation. I can find levels of gratitude for the fact that I actually manifested this. And I'm also going to define this experience as it's actually showing me and taking me to the full reflection of my entire end result that I want to experience. Your reactions are the name of the game when it comes to partial manifestations, all right? So definitely double down on how you are reacting to partial manifestations. And that's going to be the very thing that keeps you in the state of consciousness of already having everything that you want, the entire manifestation that you want to experience. And then the last thing that I want to bring up in today's video is actually a shameless plug of my own. I now have merch and I'm actually obsessed with it. I mean, I know it's a little braggy, but like this sweatshirt specifically that I'm wearing so I have 3 sweatshirts that are with the same material. Oh my gosh. If anyone's here ready for like fall, it's like the perfect fall sweater. It's an oversized sweater. I'm wearing a size medium right now and it is very baggy on me. And I'm usually like around a medium in normal sweatshirt sizes. Sometimes like a large. I'm taller, like on the taller side, so I need it for my arms. But this is a very baggy sweatshirt, very oversized. It is so freaking comfy. I'm going to be making more announcements of like my merch at the end of my videos, but this is the first one I want to point out in today's video. It's my Infinite line. It says Infinite and the Limitless by Nature. Again, I love this sweatshirt or this style of sweatshirt. I have 3 now, but it is so cozy. So if you want to support me, then this is my merch. I have some other stuff too. Like I said, I'll be making more announcements of each of the stuff, but I wanted to just point out that this is one of them and it's really, really nice. So definitely check it out if you're interested. All right. But with all that being said, I'm going to end the video here. Definitely let me know what you think about it in the comments below. As always, I love hearing everyone's different perspectives. That is all for now. Until next time, keep creating, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.